Welcome to Why It Works 101, a special episode of Why It Works dedicated specifically to the very fundamental basic concepts required to be able to understand most of why contraptions work. And today we are going to be covering Redstone. Redstone has two basic states. One of them is off, and one of them is on. As we can see from the lamps, when it is off, the redstone does not glow, and when it is on, the redstone does glow, and we can see that it also has fancy little particle effects. Every block in Minecraft has a redstone power state. It can either be a source block, an affected block, or an unpowered block. The state each block is determined by the redstone components around it. For example, a torch is powering this block and lighting up the lamp. While in this case, we can see we have the exact same light blue stained clay block, and it is not powering the lamp. For the rest of this video, we will be using light blue stained clay to represent source blocks, blue stained clay to represent affected blocks, and cyan stained clay to represent unpowered blocks. We could theoretically use any blocks in the game for this, but for the sake of convenience and ease of understanding, we will be using these three. Every block in the world is unpowered by default. It is only when a source block is added that this value changes. We can see that since we added the source block, the blocks around it are affected by the source block's power. As a basic overview, source blocks power the ones next to them, but affected blocks do not. From these two graphics right here, we can see that redstone blocks essentially act as a placeable source block. Redstone dust is the basic carrier of redstone power. Its redstone state is determined by the blocks it touches, specifically the blocks below and directly adjacent to it. We can see from this figure right here that the redstone dust causes the block beneath it to become a source block, which then affects the blocks next to it. And we can demonstrate this by replacing all of the blocks with lamps, and seeing that not only are the source blocks, when they are powered, do they light up, but also the affected blocks. However, if we were to place a redstone lamp in the unpowered slot, then we would see that it does not light up. We can see from this diagram that the only blocks redstone dust powers, other than the block underneath it, are the blocks that it leads directly into. As we can see, this redstone dust goes straight into that block right there and powers it. And we can see that the powered block then has a chance to affect all of the blocks surrounding it, but not any of the ones that aren't adjacent. We can also see that the blocks above and to the side are not affected by the redstone dust, even though the redstone dust is still on that block and powered. When turning corners, redstone dust will only go the directions that it can sense redstone components next to. For example, we can make a three-way intersection right here by adding another redstone component, aka redstone dust in this case, right here. It also senses that the redstone block, a different redstone component, is right next to it, and it also connects to that. However, the block right here is not a redstone component, so it will not connect. This means that corners with redstone dust do not power any blocks other than the blocks beneath them, as we can see in this example. We can even replace these with lamps to confirm and make sure that redstone does not power the blocks that it is next to, even when turning around a corner, unless it leads into the block specifically. From this diagram, we see that redstone power can be transmitted up and down one block. The exception to this would be if there is a block preventing the redstone from reaching up to the next layer. Redstone torches are a little more complicated than either a source block or an affected block. Redstone torches provide a source block above and provide affected blocks adjacent to horizontally, but not below. This block is green for two reasons. One, because the redstone torch does not power it, like a normal source block would if it was in the position of the redstone torch. The second reason is because if the green block is powered, then the redstone torch will turn off. We can see this demonstrated right here. When the redstone torch is on top of a source block, it will become unpowered. If the block that the redstone torch is on is only affected, it will remain powered. By default, the redstone torch is powered. Redstone torches can also be placed on the side of blocks. This simple circuit is known as an inverter. We can see in the first half of the circuit that this redstone block powers the redstone dust next to it. The redstone dust then continues to transmit it up onto this block. Redstone dust always powers the block it is on. We have gone over that. And since we put this redstone torch on the same block that this redstone dust is powering, the redstone torch has turned off. In this second half of the circuit, we can see that the redstone wire takes a current from this redstone torch, which is currently off, and then transmits it to this light. Since there's currently no power coming from that torch, there is no power to be transmitted to the light. If we were to break this block of redstone, which is currently powering the whole circuit, then we would see that this redstone wire would then turn off, thus unpowering this block and powering the redstone torch, which then goes across and transmits it to the lamp. This is a slightly more advanced circuit that we will create, known as a burnout clock. What happens is we have a redstone torch that is powering the block above it. Since this block is powered, it will affect all of the blocks next to it, thus powering the redstone dust and powering the block below it. When the block that the torch is placed on is powered, it turns out. And this continues to go back and forth and flash continuously until, well, it burns out. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, I would really appreciate it if you left a like. For more Why It Works videos, make sure to subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Bye!